All right, so it's 1 in the morning. I'm trying to be as quiet as I can be because my husband and my toddler are sleeping, and I think this is the start of the labor and delivery vlog, which is crazy. I'm excited. I'm in pain. But yeah, it's 1 in the morning. Contractions started like around 10 p.m. Started feeling lots of pressure down there. And yeah, haven't really stopped since then. So they've been on and off. I've been trying to go to sleep, but I can't. But I'm gonna try to go to sleep again. I set up my little mattress that we have in our living room so that way I don't wake up my husband to go to the restroom because I feel like I have to pee the whole time. And I'm also thirsty, so I'm drinking lots of water. And I'm trying to put chapstick because this Southern California weather has not been it. It's been really hot and dry lately. Oh, I feel a contraction coming. Okay, let me breathe. Okay, that was a pretty short one, but it's been feeling pretty intense down there. I don't remember feeling this intense with my first, but anyway, I'm gonna continue vlogging and I'm gonna try to go to sleep right now again and just try to like listen to meditations while I'm trying to go to sleep because I know it's just gonna get more intense from here. Whew. And I do have a goal. Hopefully I can achieve it. And I do not want to get the epidural this time because last time I got the epidural, it was due to exhaustion. So I'm not trying to do that mistake again. So I'm gonna try to sleep, lay down, and get as much as energy as I can, even if I can't really sleep. But as long as I close my eyes and like lay down, I think that's enough. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that. And then I don't know if I should tell my mom that I'm in labor. It's really late, so I don't know if I should just message her so as soon as she wakes up, she sees it, or if I should just call her like at 6 in the morning to let her know, like, hey, come over, because I don't know how long this is gonna take, because this is my second baby, so I'm not sure how fast or how slow this is going to be, because again, in my first labor, it was 34 hours long, so yeah, this is the bump right now. And I did put a diaper just in case my water breaks while I'm laying down or whatever, and I don't want to clean it up. So that's my story right now. So I'm gonna go try to lay down now. I gotta pee. Feel a lot of pressure on my booty. Oh, it's about to be 4 in the morning. It's 3:50-ish. I stood up to pee real quick. I've been doing this all night. Oh, pain. Trying to let hubby sleep. He did wake up when I was in the restroom because I put this little hoodie on because I got cold. I'm telling you, Southern California weather is so weird right now. I feel like I need to poop, but I don't. If it's just baby girl just being really low, that I just feel that pressure on my butt. The whole time I was laying down, I've been trying to sleep, but I'll wake up for contractions to kind of breathe through them. And I try to sleep as much as I can, but it's not a full sleep. So much pressure on my booty. So much pressure. think I need to drink more water and then put chapstick on my lips because they are looking crusty. Ooh. I am trying to labor at home as much as possible, but the pressure, just standing up, I feel lots of pressure down there. $4.44. Use restroom. I am using the restroom right now. I'm trying to pee. And I do have a little pad on. And I saw there was a little bit of blood in there. So much pressure. Can't sit down right. I feel like I need to poop. I don't know if it's the pressure. I don't want to push. I really want to get on the tub and just relax. I think that's what I'm gonna do. But I feel like I have to poop, but I can't. So I am bleeding a little, not too much. I feel like pooping though every time I sit down on the toilet. Does it feel nice? I think I'm just gonna get on the tub. So much pressure. Hopefully I can sleep a little while I'm in the tub. I have a lot of stuff to take out. I'm gonna get some. I'm so thirsty. So I'm washing this bathtub. Like 5 in the morning, I just checked the toilet and my mucus plug actually I just saw it. And I think it's still clean up. Same thing happened with my boy. My mucus plug actually came off when I was in labor. Whoa. Ew. And it's like an egg white type of consistency. So I heard through research that you lose your mucus plug doesn't mean that you have to go to the hospital. So I feel confident with that decision. I feel a lot of pressure going under. Yeah. Getting into the cover though. I'm letting the backpack go while I'm in here. I'm trying to listen to meditation, labor meditation. Hopefully the water will help me. Because I'm looking and I'm trying to drink water and I'm fasting. I'll call my mom in like an hour. Because I need her to watch her college. If things start to speed up out of nowhere. It's 5:03. I feel a lot of pressure on my butt. I feel like it's too early to feel that. So I put it in my back. Feels so good. I just called my mom to come because I still feel a lot of pressure down there, but I don't want to push because it's like, I don't know. Come in there. Listening to the meditation. I already called my mom to come. I feel a lot of pressure. But I don't know if this is considered like back labor when you feel pressure over here, or because I feel like pushing, but I don't want to push.
Why don't you want to push?
I don't know, because it just feels weird. Like, I don't know if it's poop or what.
your body's telling you to push, you should just push.
And it feels good with the water. I was trying to sleep as much as I could. I caught myself asleep. I was laying down, but then they would wake me up. Like I tried to sit down, and
You call your mom where you're just coming? You got this,
give me more water right now. I feel like throwing up. Give me something big.
Careful, baby. You want to get it out of there?
Give me a bat. Thank you. Here's some of the floor.
You want to get rid of the water right now?
My water just broke. I feel like a pop.
Okay, then we gotta go. Alright, so I'm just gonna get everything ready.
Yeah, but
Can you stand up?
no, just got my water with me. I don't know what time is it, but my water just broke.
Don't worry about that, I'll do that.
Yeah.
You got this.
Feeling poopy.
Try not to poop, it's probably your hair one. Tap on the car.
Okay. Oh. Ow.
I have your cobija. I have your cobija, your bag, and your folder.
Okay. I feel so much pressure.
Because we gotta go now.
I know, babe, take this off. Hold on, don't get cleaned up. I don't know if it's poop or what.
Oh my god.
I think it's poop.
I want to check.
Let me poop. Because I did throw up. Hey, Papa?
He's still sleeping.
Okay.
He's
Sorry,
not in the car. Let me, you want to put him inside there?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was poop.
Okay. I already put him inside.
Okay.
Just waiting on you now.
Okay, Daddy. Okay. This is the way you guys it. Oh my goodness. So I was only able to record up to the last footage that you just saw, but I'm just gonna do a whole recap of what went on, what you just watched, my whole laboring experience, and also my birth and delivery experience, because the birth part I was unfortunately not able to record because everything just went by so quick, and I'm gonna go ahead and explain everything right now. Let's go ahead and start from the very beginning. On November 3rd, I actually started feeling lots of pressure. I think around 4 p.m. ish, a little bit after that. I felt lots of pressure. I had to pee. Like, I felt like every 5 minutes. I felt like I was using the restroom nonstop, and I kept saying I had pressure, but I didn't feel any contractions just yet. So at 9:30, actually in the night, I started feeling lots of pressure, like a lot of pressure. And I remember taking a selfie and posting it on my Instagram stories saying that I had a lot of pressure. So 30 minutes after I posted that picture on Instagram, I started feeling contractions. So it was around 10 p.m. November 3rd. I still wasn't like too sure if it was labor starting. It actually felt very similar to menstrual cramps at first. So I was like, okay, maybe this is a false alarm, but I'll wait it out. And I was like, okay, immediately I started to just relax, and I went straight to bed because I was like, what if it's a long labor? I need rest. I need to sleep if possible, because with my first labor, I did not rest at all. And it was a big mistake because my labor was 34 hours long, and I did not want to get the epidural. And I got it when I was 31 hours into labor. I was like 8 centimeters and just super exhausted because I was full of excitement. I had the adrenaline rush because I wanted to meet my baby. Big mistake because I didn't rest at all. That caused me to be super exhausted. Unfortunately, didn't meet my goal of, going through that labor unmedicated. This time around, I had the same goal. I didn't want to get the epidural. I didn't want to make the same mistake. So I was like, I need to go to bed as soon as I feel these contractions coming. So I went straight to bed. My husband was already sleeping. So I was just, falling asleep, and literally I felt contractions coming more consistently and more frequently. So I was like, okay, this is the real deal. I'm going to continue to rest. So I continued to rest, and then I was like, okay, I'm going to put my AirPods on. I'm going to listen to labor and birth meditations and affirmations. When I was laying down in bed next to my husband, I was listening to labor meditations with my AirPods on, and I was just relaxing so good. But at the same time, I was waking up when I was getting contractions. So I was tossing and turning. I was going to the bathroom so frequently that I didn't want to wake up my husband at that that point, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go in the living room, set myself up and relax, get through these contractions because I don't know how long labor is going to be. So I put like a mattress that we have in the living room. I grabbed my pregnancy pillow, I grabbed my phone, I grabbed my AirPods, and I continued listening to labor meditations, and that was super helpful because I felt super relaxed. But again, when I got those contractions, I was getting up and then I had to use the restroom, and it was so uncomfortable to be like standing up because I felt the pressure even more. And especially when I would go in the bathroom and sit it down in the toilet, I felt like the pressure felt even more intense. So 1 a.m. I actually started vlogging. It's more of a labor vlog than a delivery vlog. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to record during my birth, and I will explain in a bit. But going back to when I started my labor vlog, so at 1 a.m. I started feeling them even more intense, more frequently. My husband was still sleeping, and I really wanted him to sleep because I wanted his full support when, you know, it was actually time to go into the hospital. Also, my toddler was sleeping at that time. My whole plan was to call my mom as soon as I felt the contractions, but I felt the contractions at 10 and I was like, if I call her right now, she's gonna come over. I feel like she's not gonna get sleep because she's gonna be excited as well. So I just wanted to let her sleep. I wanted to let everyone sleep because I felt like if they're well rested, I will have the best support. So I tried to labor as much as possible in the living room. I would get up and pee, and then I would feel the pressure. I would breathe through the contractions. What was really helpful besides the labor meditations that I was listening to was breathing. That was super duper helpful. I actually did practice my breathing for 30 days straight, and I actually recorded it and I posted them on TikTok, and it was just literally me breathing in and out. So I would breathe in for 4 seconds and then I will breathe out for 6 to 8 seconds for a total of 5 times, because that usually covers a whole contraction. And yes, it did, because when I was going through those contractions, I was literally breathing in and out and trying to focus on my breathing. Before I knew it, the contraction was over. It was super duper helpful. So that is one of the biggest tips I would give you, is please practice your breathing during pregnancy, because it's going to be super helpful once you're in labor, especially if you are trying to go unmedicated or not get the epidural. And around 4-ish a.m., I was like, you know what? I am gonna go inside the bathtub in the warm, hot water and try to relax, because I heard water is nature's epidural. Boy, are they correct, because my mom actually told me when she was laboring at home with my baby brother. I call him baby brother, but he's like 13 now. But at that time, I remember she told me she got inside the water. I think I was like sleeping at the time. I wasn't really paying attention. I was like sleeping when I was living with her, and she was laboring at home. And I remember her telling me that she got inside the bathtub and that relaxed her so much. And that's what I did this time around, because I didn't do that with my first. This time I got inside the bathtub, and oh boy, that water felt amazing. I felt like I didn't feel any type of pain when I was in that water. The only thing I did feel was pressure. Like I felt so much pressure. I felt like that was like never ending, but I didn't really feel pain. Like I felt so relaxed. I think when I wasn't submerged in the water, I would feel, you know, the intensity of the contractions. When I was in the water, especially when the hot water would hit my back or my tummy, it just felt super amazing. So I highly recommend get inside the bathtub if you can, with warm or hot water, whatever your preference is. If I were to get pregnant again and go through the whole laboring experience, I would definitely go in the bathtub a lot sooner than I did with this labor and birth. So yeah, so at 4 a.m. I got inside the bathtub, but I felt like I was kind of in denial, because with my first labor, it was just super duper long, that I was like, okay, maybe this is gonna take a little bit longer. So around 5 a.m. I was like, you know what? This is getting super intense. I am gonna call my mom. I know it's early. I actually wanted to wait till 6 in the morning to call her, but you know what? I was like, okay, I don't know. This is getting really intense. So I'm gonna call her just in case. I give her a call and she actually doesn't answer, but literally like within a minute or two after I called her, she called me back and she's like, hello. Like she sounded kind of sleepy. And I was like, hey mom, like I'm going through labor contractions contractions right now. It's starting. And she's like, oh my God, since when did they just start? And I was like, no. I said, I've been contracting since 10 p.m. And then she was like, what the heck? Like, why didn't you call me before? Blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. I thought it was going to take longer. So yeah, it just progressed so quickly. So she's like, okay, I'm going to get everything ready and head over there. And the thing is, she doesn't live like super close. She lives pretty far. I would say it could take like 45 minutes to an hour for her to get here. That was like around 5 a.m. I was, you know, still laboring in the bathtub. And then a few minutes after I got off the phone with my mom, my husband actually came inside the bathroom. And that's what you can see in the footage too. My husband coming inside and saying like if I was okay. Right when he comes in, I felt like it just got even more intense because literally my water broke. I was throwing up of how intense it was. Yeah, from there, my husband was like, okay, we need to go to the hospital because your water broke. I am GBS positive, so as soon as my water breaks, I need to head to the hospital in order for me to get the antibiotics needed. So chances for baby to get GBS decreases with the antibiotics. As soon as my water broke, my husband's like, we need to go. Let's get your stuff. Let's get you ready real quick. And then my mom is still not there. It's like 5:30-ish or something like that. Of course, mom's not there because I just called her like at 5 something. Yeah, it was totally my bad for not calling her earlier, but I honestly was in denial and I didn't think my labor was gonna go that fast. Anyway, so we're rushing. My husband's putting on my diaper. I think you could see it on the video. I'm trying to clean the bathtub, but he's like, I got it. I'm trying to clean the toilet. He's like, no. And a lot of these things I tried to get on the video. I was still trying to clean up while, you know, going through transition. And yeah, it just got crazy after that. My husband was putting our toddler in the car. We just had to take him to the hospital. We were just gonna meet my mom at the hospital, and whenever she came, she was gonna take our toddler from there. While we're getting ready and stuff like that, I kept saying I felt a lot of pressure, and I actually did go to the restroom. I was like kind of pushing, and you could kind of hear it in the background. I was recording our bedroom, but I went in the restroom, in the bathroom inside our bedroom, and I was literally laboring in there. I was making some weird noises. There was a point where I did feel like I needed to poop, and I literally sat on the toilet, TMI, and I kind of like pushed, and I was like kind of scared to push because I didn't know if it was baby girl coming out and I didn't want her to like fall in the toilet. Thank goodness it was not baby girl, and it was actually a little bit of poop. I felt like for being in transition, I was pretty aware of what was going on around me because my husband's like, okay, we gotta go, and I was like, wait, I still need to pack my toothbrush and my face wash and my lotion because I didn't pack those things in my hospital bag because they're things that I use on the daily, and I was gonna do it once I started labor. But when I did start labor, I didn't think it was like active labor. I thought it was more like early labor. That's why I kind of kept pushing it. Grabbed my toothbrush, I grabbed my face wash, you know, those toiletry things, and them in the bag. And then I was trying to find my slippers and I couldn't find them. My husband was giving me some outside slippers, and I was like, no, those are dirty. I don't want to take those to the hospital. I even thought about the car. I didn't want to get it dirty because my water just broke and I still felt like some leakage. I told my husband, put like a towel on the seat so I don't dirty it. And so he grabs a towel, and I remember him grabbing like a good towel, and I was like, no, not that one. I told him to grab another towel, and he placed it in the seat, and then I sat down and I literally could not put my seatbelt on. It was just getting really intense. I honestly feel that if I would have pushed hard enough at home while I was in the bathtub, I would have delivered our baby girl in the bathtub. But thank goodness that didn't happen because I actually didn't want to push because I think I was scared that was gonna happen. While I was in the car, I felt the need to push, and I felt like I was just naturally just pushing, but I still felt like I wasn't giving it my all. I was pushing, and then my husband was just like driving super fast, and I was like, hey, calm down, because every bump that he will go through, it freaking hurt. And thank goodness the hospital is super duper close to our home, so it wasn't even like a 10-minute drive. It was a lot shorter than that. Once we got to the hospital, my husband just like parked pretty much like the load off area. My toddler is in the back seat of our car. My mom's still not there. I'm over here like pushing, and then my husband's like, okay, wait here. I wait in the car with my toddler. He goes inside the hospital. He lets them know like, hey, my wife's in labor. Real quick, they came out with a wheelchair. They placed me in the wheelchair and they're like, is this your first baby or second baby? And I said, this is my second baby. And then they kind of, I guess, got alerted, like, oh my goodness, like, okay, she might be in active labor or about to have this baby. And the way I was acting in that moment, I was kind of going a little cuckoo because I was literally pushing, like literally I would, out of nowhere, when a contraction would come, I would be like, ugh! I kept telling them that I felt a lot of pressure down there and I literally felt like pooping. They were like rushing. And I remember them taking me to triage and it just felt like so many people were around and the nurses were like, okay, let me check you and see how dilated you are. And so she, does a cervical check. She was like, oh my gosh, she's crowning. For that, they were like, transfer her to a room. And then one of the nurses is like, what room? She's like, just transfer her to a room. She's like, we don't have a room ready. And it was just complete chaos. And I just remember them wheeling me in with, the hospital bed has wheels. So they were like wheeling me to a room. And finally, I guess they found a room. They transferred me from whatever bed they had me in into another bed. Also, something super, super funny that happened when they were transferring me from the triage room into the labor and delivery room. One of the nurses is like, hey, who's your doctor? And then I told her who my doctor was. And she's like, oh, honey, unfortunately, he's not going to be able to deliver your baby because he's not here. And I'm like, I don't care. I was being kind of rude, I guess. But during that moment, you don't even realize it until after the fact. So my husband, keep in mind, he was outside with our toddler still because my mom was literally driving to the hospital. She was on her way. We arrived at the hospital around 5:50-ish. So as soon as we arrived, all of that happened and my mom was still not there. The nurses were like, who's here with you? And I was like, my husband, but he's outside with our toddler because my mom's on her way to take care of him and he just couldn't be, inside the room. So unfortunately my husband wasn't there. Yeah, after that, the OB that was there, she's like, okay, you're fully dilated, so you're gonna start pushing. I literally was in my back and I remember, my birth plan, I said that if possible that I wanted to try different positions, but in that moment it was so quick that I didn't care. Like I was like, I just need to push baby out because I feel like pushing with all my might. After that, they're like, whenever you feel a contraction, just push. They were like, breathe in and then push for 10 seconds and hold your breath. At that time, I didn't care. I was breathing however I freaking wanted. And it worked because I literally pushed my baby out in 5 pushes and she came out super healthy. Hubby was still outside with our toddler. Once she was born, I felt so relieved in every sense. I didn't even feel the ring of fire. I did feel like when she was coming out, like her head was coming out, I did feel like a lot of stretching for like 5 seconds, but I didn't feel like burning sensation. People describe like the ring of fire, like, oh my God, it burns like fire. Like I didn't feel that, but I did feel like a lot of pressure and a lot of stretching. But right after baby girl was born, one of the nurses is like, okay, we're gonna let your husband know that baby girl is here and that she's healthy. And then one of the nurses came back and she's like, I let your husband know and everything came out well, that you're doing good. So I had her at 6:19 in the morning. So I got to the hospital at 5:50 something a.m. and literally like 30 minutes later, I delivered my baby. So it was really, really fast. Everybody was saying that, oh my goodness, if you would have just waited just a couple minutes, you would have probably had your baby in the car. But honestly, I felt I could have had her at home if I had pushed hard enough, but I didn't because I kept holding back. I didn't want to push. And even in the car, even though I was pushing, I felt like I wasn't giving it my all. And then once I got to the hospital, that's when I was like, okay, I need to really push baby girl. And I had no other choice because I literally felt like I had to push with all my might. And I did. Yeah, right after I delivered baby girl and the nurses let my husband know that everything went well and that baby girl was healthy and thriving, and so was I. 10 to 15 minutes later, my mom actually got there. So then the nurses made an exception and my husband actually came inside with our toddler and he was able to see baby girl. He started singing the Twinkle Twinkle Little Star song with my toddler, and literally baby girl did this. Like literally I was holding her like this and then and she didn't move her head, but she moved her eyes towards the sound of my husband, you know, singing the Twinkle Twinkle Little Star song. I did not expect my toddler to meet her so soon, but he was able to meet her. And right after that, my mom actually came inside and also saw a baby girl. She was there for a few minutes. She took pictures of me. She took a few videos. So I'm actually going to share that right after this. It was a very fast and amazing experience. Although my husband wasn't there, he wasn't able to cut baby girl's cord, but it was still an amazing experience because at least he was outside the hospital the whole time with our toddler. He was able to see baby girl right after, and well, almost right after. But yeah, it was a very positive experience. So if you are trying to birth with no epidural, no medication, no like pain management, you know, medication, I highly recommend to stay at home as long as possible. You're gonna be comfortable. I feel like labor progresses a lot faster while you're at home versus the hospital. I'm so happy I didn't get the epidural. I am super proud of myself because that was literally my goal from day one. From my first birth, which unfortunately I didn't, but with this birth I did, and I am super proud of myself. And absolutely no judgment if you do get the epidural, because I did get the epidural with my first labor and it was well needed because I needed rest, and I don't regret that decision because it really helped me. But this time around I had the choice, you know, and I am so glad that I went through it and that everything went well, and I am so happy. And yeah, that was pretty much it.
¡Qué sorpresa hay aquí! A ver, a ver, a ver, a ver.